Yeah, so again, if you're sanitizing or sterilizing tanks, it's 180 degrees at Fahrenheit at the valve outlet. Not, I should have had a colon there rather than a hyphen, which looks like negative 180 degrees F. Although that'd probably be pretty hard on stuff too. Ozone is great, oxidizing agent, again, breaks down into oxygen pretty quickly. I've seen a lot of places that have used ozone also to produce ozone gas and then put it through the ventilation systems in the winery just at a very low level to keep microbial growth down inside. I think that's overkill, honestly, but and especially because you don't really want people breathing ozone all the time, but if it's at night, that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Make sure you know when the janitor's coming in if that's that size of facility. But yeah, so you can rinse with ozonated water, and in just a couple of minutes, you'll sanitize the surface, and and then it's broken down into O2 and water, so it's quite good. Yeah, it can be very hard. That's what we were talking about before. Rex Hill bought one of the early available ozonators and didn't change out all their gaskets to ozone-safe gaskets, so their water, it basically was just all of their gaskets just rotted away inside the bottling line, and a lot, you'd be surprised how much wine can come out of a filler spout when you have a nick in the O-ring at the tip of the filler spout. I've seen this happen several times. It really is kind of a pain. Because then also, when you go to work on it, get it re-sanitized too. So, you can spray a lot of stuff on there. Still not sterilized if you start fiddling with it. So, it is nice in big facilities to have some way of monitoring what people have cleaned. The nice thing if you have a lot of kegs is just to sanitize your keg and then put a sticker on it that says keg clean, October 8th or something like that. But usually nice, and it also saves somebody that's rushing around looking for something when the tank is overflowing. It's oh my god, is this clean? Yes, it's clean. At least that's going right. I'm a big believer in the blue tape on everything and just write down what's going on there. I accidentally dropped not a barrel, but a glass pipette into a Syrah barrel once. Nothing bad's going to happen to it, but it's important to remember that it's in there. So, do not stir, be careful when you're racking glass pipette inside a tank, that sort of thing. Blue tape. Someone should buy stock or something. And this is, it's obvious that, somebody didn't wash the destemmer when it's covered in sugar and flies and yellow jackets and stuff. So, once you've broken it down, cleaned it, and reassembled it, it's pretty easy to say, okay, it didn't get this clean just by waiting after it was dirty last time. So that's something, but like a keg or a carboy or something like that, or a tank that, did we wash that tank or did we just hose it out? It's harder to know, so it's nice to put something on there, especially once you're up to 3 or 4 people or in bigger places where they're working in shifts. You just have to have some way of catching that. It's wise, and like I was saying earlier, if I know that we sanitized it, fully cleaned it and sanitized it a few weeks ago or a week ago or something like that, I'll still have the tank re-sanitized, reapply the peracetic acid sanitizer to the surface and rinse it out. Just to be on the safe side. That's also spray in through the tasting valve and make sure you get all the little parts. I try not to store the tanks with the gaskets in, so I'll be able to then spray the door down, make sure the gasket's clean, rinse it all off, and then reassemble it. This is the door gasket particularly. Also, I try not to store them with valves in place or with valves in place and clamps and stuff on there. Also, we were talking about this when we were standing out there. It's not meaningless to clean it, even though it's weeks before you're needing it. It's crazy to have something that, especially that initial cleaning to eliminate the population of stuff that was whatever was in the wine, whatever was the last thing inside the tank is what's all over the inside of the, all over the inside of the tank when you take the wine out of it. So it wasn't meaningless to have done that. You've helped keep populations kind of more in check, even though you do have to go back through and re-sanitize it. So it's still a thing worth doing. I wanted to talk a little bit about, this is the next chapter in the book, what they call HACCP, so hazard analysis and critical control points, so places where things tend to go wrong, and you can, what oftentimes if you're fully following all of the things is where you'll take samples of before and after all these different points in the production process, so you're always, you can always go back and say, well, was the organism in here then, or was the line like that then, or whatever. I mean, there's sort of different levels of how crazy you want to go about it. But really, it's the most important part is that you've analyzed your entire process and kind of said, well, like I think cross-flow filtration and dissolved oxygen. I think a DO meter would be something like steam, I think, for sanitizing barrels, a DO meter to see how much oxygen you're picking up at movements, even in small wineries, is good. My wineries, the one that pays me does not pay for a steam cleaner or a dissolved oxygen monitor, which I think would be a really useful tool. You could really tell, because when the cross-flow guy says, oh yeah, those are CO2 bubbles, are they? I mean, or is that where all your SO2 just went? That sort of thing. So I think to be able to go through your entire protocol, all the things that you do in the winery, and then be able to measure whether or not things are actually working. And take notes. I mean, you don't have to become a believer or change everything, but it's wise to write something down when you notice it. It's like, well, maybe it's nothing, or maybe it's something that you'll have forgotten by tomorrow that was really important if you don't write it down.